Right, Dawn coming in. Here we go. Here she is, all in red.
Morning, Mark.
Morning, Dawn. Oh, got a matching top with your lipstick. Looking good. Looking bright and breezy, ready to go.
Yes, I'm going to take Oscar for a walk in a minute. He's raring to go as well.
Oh, you're doing it right. Okay. We swap around viewers a little bit. Don't think Dawn does everything. I do take him for a walk, don't I?
You do. You're very good.
Yeah, that's not a hard shit. He's lovely. Yeah, that's our dog. Yeah. Episode 43, Tuesday the 5th of May, 2020. And as we just saw on the TV, 40th anniversary of the SAS going in and saving 19 hostages at the Iranian embassy. Yeah, which was quite a story, wasn't it? Yeah.
It certainly was.
You worked round the corner, you said?
Yeah, a few years later. I think I must have been about 25. So it was about 4 years later.
Okay, yeah. I was at university. I remember watching it in the Hall of Residence on the telly. Right. Well, let's crack on. Hope you got your thinking hat head on, because I've got a bit of a challenge later for you.
Oh, goodness gracious. I thought I just had to look pretty. You didn't tell me how to answer questions.
Well, yeah, you do that very well as well. So, yeah. First thing, music. It's heating up. We've got some real specialists out there with music. You know, if we miss their slot for seeing it, they get annoyed. And we've got some like to watch it at breakfast. If you don't hit their breakfast time slot and they're watching it later,
no pressure then. Absolutely none.
Yeah, it's really hotting up. Anyway, it was ELO. Last Train to London. Steve Fury got it, and the link was that Jeff Lynne, who's the lead writer, vocalist, or the lead anyway of ELO, he was in a group called the Travelling Wilburys with Roy Orbison, whose music was the day before. So anyway, on to today's, and I'm going to have to be really careful with this. They're going to have to listen really carefully, because I think it's these people that are out there, they're going to get it pretty quick if I'm not careful. So I'm going to play a little bit, stop it, because we want to challenge them a bit. We don't want it too easy, do we? So
no, okay.
Got to get the music and the link to yesterday, folks. So let's see what. Here we go. Let's turn it up so I can hear it nice and clear. You ready? 6 seconds worth.
Okay.
That'll do. I'm going to test them out today. I'm fed up with these people getting it really quick.
You're no fun, are you?
No, I'm not. And on the contest, we've got. I think he's a relatively new viewer, but he's really up for the music game. Oh, he was asking me what time we're going to be up today, recording and stuff like that. Get his tactics sorted out for listening out. And that's Tony Fulbrook, who only lives around the corner. I'm surprised he's not peering in the window, actually, to see if we're recording. But he's pumped, as they say. So this is a photo of Tony. So welcome, Tony, to the... There he is. It's Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, good luck. Or no, I'm not wishing him good luck. Let's hope they struggle a little bit. We've got a tripartite contest going on, really, between the Fags, Steve Fury, and Tony Fulbrook now. Anyone else who can crash the party would be good to see on the music front. But there's
keeps them occupied for a little while, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's Tony doing his thing. I've got loads of photos of him running, but anybody who contributes to the officiating and volunteering force at Tunbridge AC and elsewhere deserves a bit of credit. So there it was Tony doing his, I think he was
measuring something. He was either doing the he's got a tape measure in his hand, so he was measuring.
And on photos, I've got another one coming up. We've got a school photo from another viewer. It's from, here she is, Pat Adkin. Right. That's not a school photo, Dawn.
No, I realise this.
That's Pat. That's
That's her onion and lemon preserver.
yeah, yeah.
She doesn't look 5.
But she does here. Share the screen, and we all go,
Oh, isn't that lovely?
yeah. So thanks very much. I don't know if Pat gave permission, but Dave, her husband, sent that in.
Oh, bless him.
It's nice to see. So again, any photos of any viewers as youngsters? I think I've got photos of most people who view photos recently, but if I haven't, sent that in as well. So I've got both to compare. So feedback was reduced, and I think it's reduced because people are so focusing their minds on the music, they're forgetting all the other stuff we need. But
I don't blame them sometimes. I mean, it depends on how busy you are. I mean, yesterday I went out and did a bit of gardening and came in, and then I made some granola bars, etc. So it does depend how much time you've got to put towards it, doesn't it?
yeah. But Graham Saker, he suggested we think about the good things that have come from lockdown.
That's a good one because
So a bit of feedback on that might be good. Good things that have come from lockdown. I mean, most of us will think of the deep and meaningful things like relationships, how we communicated, facing our fears or appreciation of the NHS. What does Graham come up with? They've been repairing potholes because the roads have been quieter.
But he's got a point there. Maybe that is it. They are able to get about etc. Yesterday was very busy though, because I went to the butcher's to get some meat, and it was very busy out. So, and I left it to, you know, I know when the rush hour is, and I thought I'd go out about 11:30, and it was still quite fairly busy.
Yeah, that was on the news, wasn't it? It was picking up, getting a bit busier.
Yeah.
I see potholes being repaired locally, because Graham's very lucky if he's getting his potholes repaired.
Well, yeah, they are out there doing road works, etc. It is a bit annoying when they, like, for instance, close the high street, which they have done. And I'm not sure what they're doing. I assume it's a pothole or something. And I'm thinking, well, hurry up, guys! You've been at it a week and a half. It can't take that long to fill in a little hole. So it must be a little bit more involved other than that.
Okay, so Graham would like feedback on good things that you've noticed. Not feeling type things, actual things, physical things you've noticed, perhaps from lockdown.
Well, I haven't used as much petrol.
No, that's right. Hubert Bunce, he's come up with something I never thought I would hear on this video cast. He was talking about, well, first of all, he was talking about the key to learning. He appreciated your comments yesterday for children, key to learning, unlocking, as you put it, their learning. You want to just expand on that briefly?
Oh, it's just a fact, because we do not all learn at the same rate, and we don't all learn in the same way. So if you explain something to somebody and they look blankly at you, you've got to find a method of actually explaining what you want to them so that they understand and can take it on board and learn that. And that's the difficulty, because everyone is different. I mean, I can remember in my work, etc., I'd explain my spreadsheet and they'd all look at me blankly. So I had to come up with a method of actually breaking it down into sections so they understood exactly what I did, because I was teaching people my job, in effect.
So everyone's got the ability to learn. It's just unlocking that ability.
Yeah, I totally do not think that anyone is thick or anything like that. I hate that expression. I just think that people learn in different ways. They may be at different stages at different ages, but they need help. They do not need criticism, and they don't need people laughing at them, etc. They need to understanding is where I'm coming from.
And similarly, Rachel Fagg, who was a teacher, gave some great feedback into the thinking of teaching and the challenges, because I was talking about, you know, that mix or that choice of whether you are praising all the time or you're very honest and give a hard critique, and the different methods, the old school type who would be pretty harsh, tell them how it is, get on with it and try and improve. or those that praise the actual achievements? It's a difficult one, isn't it? And again, I think
Yeah.
it depends on individuals. And James Taylor called me last night, and he's a teacher, and he was talking about that as well, how times have changed. He's a bit more old school, but they are encouraged to encourage, really.
Mm. I think at Judge, they probably come from very good backgrounds. But I mean, when you go to sort of like primary school and secondary school, like I did, but I didn't go to a particularly top secondary school, so it comes into effect your family's background and how family life is at home, and it's all connected, and how willing you are to learn. I mean, there are some people who will go to school because that's the law, and then they won't do anything, and they just be a right pain. And you sometimes you think, God, I can't help those people, but I think you've got a duty to, as a, perhaps talk to the parents, find out what's going on, etc., to try and understand where the child is coming from, why they're so anti-learning or something. I just think that there should be some effort, as opposed to just writing them off as a disruptive child or something like that. I just think that's not where it should be.
Yeah. Good. So that was great feedback from the likes of Rachel on schooling. And the piece that from feedback I never thought I'd be reading out or talking about on here is pooing in the Grand Canyon. Thanks very much for Hubert Bunce for coming up there. How did we get onto that? What's that? What was
I have no idea. I don't know. But I did say to him, I was wondering, because they they have picnics on the Grand Canyon floor, and I was wondering about, how do you deal with that? Because you don't want a great big pile of poo, do you? But I don't think I want to discuss it here. Thanks.
Are you talking about the concept of sharing, and the guy who?
Yeah, I was saying that there are so many points where you can go to the loo, and I said that would frighten the living daylights out of me. One, I don't want to know. I don't want to know where people are going to poo. Two, I don't want to give away my location.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a whole mindful of it. But he explained a bit more afterwards. So go back to your Facebook of yesterday, and he's explained what they do, and it's a little bit more technical, rather a lot more information than I was.
I suppose even though it's 280 miles long, it could get filled up with poop from trekkers if you didn't do something about it. And they have rafts going and collecting it from certain locations or something like that.
Well, there is something like that. That's the explanation. But go back to your Facebook yesterday to find the explanation. I'm not explaining it now. I wouldn't do it very well either.
Fascinating stuff from Hubert. And maybe we should have a section. What's the most unusual place you've had a poop? And,
no, let's not do that.
I bet we get a lot of feedback. We watch. I know what sort of people are watching this. Right. Grazia. I like this. This wasn't so much the fact that the specific point, but it inspired me. She was talking about Facebook and social media. Remember, you were commenting on that. She says she does not accept friend requests from work colleagues, so she can keep her private and work separate, which I thought that's very strong-minded, good willpower. I mean, our work colleagues will think differently perhaps, and that's something you have to deal with. But if you've got rules like that in your life, that's good. And it made me think, what tips or rules do you abide by in life that you think others would benefit from? I've got 12 I scribbled down last night. If you want to,
excuse me, I'm sneezing now, sorry.
Always have a tissue with you. That's number
one. I caught it.
Right. Oh, this is a disgusting episode.
Well, I'm sorry. Nature comes.
I don't do editing, by the way. I'm only the producer. You come up with anything yet? Do you want me to go?
You go, and I've got a couple, but you go.
Right. I've got some deep and meaningful ones as well. Like, always choose positivity over negativity in all your approach to life. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like that one. Number 2, when you get to a certain age, I'm talking about blokes mainly here, make sure in the mornings you check your nostrils and check your ears and check your eyebrows and give them all a trim. I've seen a number of people hit 50 and they've got hair coming out of their nostrils, or bushes growing out of their ears, or all you can focus on is their eyebrows, and I don't think they're doing themselves any favours.
It's your pet hate.
It is, and that's one of my top tips. When you get to 50, right?
Check your hair.
You come up with anything yet?
No, I've forgotten the two I had because you went. Sorry.
Oh dear. Right, next one. Be on time or early for appointments.
Yeah, again, it's another pet hate of yours, isn't it?
It is. What is the point in saying I'm going to meet at a certain time, and then you rock up 10 minutes later? It's discourteous to the other person who's sitting there waiting, basically living your life for you because you can't do anything else, or she can't do anything else. So be on time. Don't be late. Respect the other person.
Okay, grumpy pants.
Don't you agree?
Yes, I do agree. I know it's your pet hate. I try and sometimes it is avoidable to be a couple of minutes late, but 10 minutes is not acceptable.
No. Do you want more from me?
Yeah, keep going.
Right, here's a good one. Always have a plan.
Yeah, this is your thing. You must always have a plan.
Do you want to expand on that?
No, you go. It's your plan.
Well, I always have a plan because I can't stand working with a group of people who are running around like chickens with their heads cut off, not communicating, where they could have sat down at the beginning and said, how are we going to do this? And allocated the tasks, planned it out, had some dialogue and communication.
There is one flaw in this, because if something goes wrong with the plan, what are you going to do?
You have contingencies. You plan for contingencies.
Yeah, but you have to think on your feet.
Yeah, you do have to, but you can save a lot of time. Number of times I've been doing something wrong because somebody hasn't communicated it properly.
Okay.
It wastes so much time.
That's another one of your little pet hates, isn't it? Communication.
Yeah, exactly. You want another one?
Yeah, go on. Is this moan a week day for you?
Use underarm deodorant.
I agree with that one.
The trouble is, you meet people and they might be very pleasant and they might be able to talk very nicely to you and have some great stories or great contribution to your life. But if they haven't done their underarms, you will remember them as the smelly one. That's it.
Okay, darling. Next one.
Don't you agree? That's important.
Well, I told you about that concert I was where we went to see Earth, Wind and Fire, and the bloke next to me was waving his arms around, and I wasn't to begin with, apart from the fact that he had chronic BO and it was really bad, and because he was waving his arm, I kept getting a whiff, and I nearly sort of like passed out after half the time. And in the end, I just sat down and didn't join in because I just couldn't stand it any longer.
There you go. If you knew his name, all you'd remember him for was his BO.
Well, I didn't even know him. He was just next to me in a concert, which is something that, is going to never happen again, hopefully. We'll never get that close. I'll have to take seats out.
I think that'd do there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 5. Do you want one more? Just one more?
Just one more then, okay.
One more. If you get into an argument and you feel it's descending into a row, just agree to walk away and come back to it later.
I agree with that one. I have another one that's sort of very similar. If you feel anger, just bite your tongue and then just sort of like think about it rationally and then don't say anything, and that person will find that argument has really sort of like stopped, or you haven't said anything that you're going to upset that person for that reason.
Yeah. And finally for you, last, just leave everybody on this one. This isn't advice for life. This is just Kelly Brook, the model. It's in the paper today saying when she was 30, she was dirty. When she was 40, she was naughty. And when she was He's 50. She wants to be fit. How would you describe yourself at 30, 40 and 50?
Oh gosh. Well, 30, I was just having my children, so I mean, I was pretty fit and really sort of like full on, very very busy. 40, I, I was probably okay, fitish. 50, probably a bit lazy.
Do you keep going?
60, well, I'm always doing things, busy. I feel better in myself at 60 than I did at 50. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you missed the point a bit there, but that'll do. And
I don't want to be like Kelly Brooks. There's no way that I can compete with that woman. So what, at the end of the day, I'm going to be different. So it's not quite what you would expect.
no enhancements, no plastic surgery, nothing done. No, unbelievable.
No, I haven't done any plastic surgery. I might get my nose done.
The nice thing is, you can see when you're smiling. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell, would you?
No, my eyes crinkle as well.
Don't worry about the crinkles. It's much nicer.
I'll see you then. Bye.
All right, bye.